Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another week of Caitlin's Music City Skinny, my weekly Facebook Live on all things buying, selling in Nashville and the Franklin area. Okay. So I know that for the last several weeks, we've been talking about buying in a seller's market because that is very much what we are in right now. I mean, inventory in the Nashville, Franklin, Middle Tennessee area in general is really low. I know I feel like I sound like a broken record, but if a home is priced right and marketed well, it is flying under contract in a matter of hours. If, sometimes days if the agent decides to allow it to sit for a little longer just to get the highest and best offer for their client. So we are very much seeing there is such a strong buyer demand right now because you have the low interest rates. Everybody is wanting to buy in Nashville. We have a lot of people looking to relocate here now that more companies have moved to remote work options just because of everything that's going on. So we are seeing a ton of buyer demand out there. And in fact, I know that typically spring market is the biggest selling and buying time. And of course, pandemic hit, things kind of hit pause for just a little bit. But now, we are out in full force and we just don't have enough inventory to support the huge demand that we see. So I don't want that to scare buyers away because if you are thinking about buying, the low interest rates make it a phenomenal time to buy. Now, with that being said, you may be like, well, Caitlin, there's not enough inventory on the market. What do I do? And so that's what I've been talking about over the last several weeks, just in terms of how do you buy when you're in a competitive market, when you're in a hot market like we are right now. So I know that we've covered about the mindset and everything. So today is actually going to be about how to write a letter to a seller for when you find a home that you love, right? So I'm sure you may have even heard of this technique before. It's something that people try to use to their benefit to win out multiple offer situations because those are what we are seeing right now. So I'm going to kind of break down some of the do's and don'ts of how to write a letter to a seller when you do find the home you love, because chances are you love it. 8, 10, 20 other people probably love it. But how do you help give yourself a competitive edge when it comes to writing this letter? So let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. Okay, so you found the home that you love. You're ready to write on it. You write a really strong offer, and then you're going to put the icing on the cake, which is going to be this letter. So first of all, you want to ask your agent to make sure that they give the listing agent a call to figure out what works best for the seller. What kind of situation is the seller in? Because here's the thing, a letter to the heart is not always going to be your best bet depending on what the seller is going through. So you want your agent to call, make sure that the agent knows, the kind of timelines, the situation, why they're selling, if the listing agent will divulge that information. So that way, if it does make sense to write a letter, your agent knows, so you guys together can help craft the letter that'll then be, a supporting piece along with your really strong offer. So you want to make sure when writing the offer, you do want to personalize it as much as possible, right? You want to tell them what you really love about the home. Don't just say like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we think your home is fabulous. Please pick us. You've got to start to kind of pull on those heartstrings just a little bit. And so tell them what you love about the home. Do they have a fabulous kitchen where you cannot wait to make Christmas morning breakfast or Thanksgiving for the entire family? Do they have an amazing backyard where you want to watch your kids grow up? Find those things, the specific items, be specific as possible, and explain why you love them and how that's going to play into your lifestyle and how you plan on just really taking the specialness of the home and taking that to heart and how you're going to use the home. Something that you absolutely do not want to do not point out any flaws or problems with the home. That is not going to work in your favor, right? Like if you notice that all the shrubs are dead, don't point those out. Don't say, we can't wait to update the dead shrubbery. That's not going to work for you. Don't talk about the bad things. Don't talk about any flaws. you basically do not want to give them any reason to be like, why are they picking apart my home? Don't do that. Instead, again, figure out how, one thing, and you're probably going to start hearing this a lot from me over the next couple of weeks, is just football references, right? So, again, talk about the lifestyle. Say, I cannot wait to sit out on this back patio and put on the football game and kick back with my family and just enjoy a total Saturday full of football. Something like that. You really want to be able to speak to the lifestyle of the home. Also, be mindful when it comes to the emotions. Like, yes, you want to tug on the heartstrings, but you don't want to do so in a way that you're going to, that is going to be a detriment to you. So what do I mean by that? So you've got to realize a lot of times selling is going to be emotional for the seller as well. Maybe their family grew up in the home, or, maybe this is where big life events took place. And so while it's normally a bittersweet feeling, right? Maybe they're really excited about where they're headed next, whether it's another home in the area, whether it's out of state, whether it's to be closer to family. But this home had significance. So be sure that that don't try to disregard feelings anyway. Acknowledge, say, like, I understand this is probably bittersweet. Like, you can tell that the home's been well loved and maintained, and that you guys have really loved living in this home. And it's something that we look forward to kind of, if you were to choose to pass the home on to us, we look forward to taking care of it as well as you have. So just kind of giving them that reassurance, because again, emotions play into the selling portion, and you don't want to in any way play on the emotions in a manipulative format, right? You just want to make sure that you're not in any way disregarding the feelings of the seller. So again, that's why I'm saying don't pick out the flaws, but also be aware that this is emotional for them as well, and let them know, like, you are going to take care of the home. You're going to love the home. You want to basically preserve the specialness of the home and really allow it to now be a place for you and your family to make it your own and to create your own new memories there. I think it's also really important to just, you don't, there are certain elements that you kind of have to be careful of. And this is something that you can have a discussion with your agent as you actually are getting ready to craft the letter. You want to make sure that you're not in any way putting in anything into the letter that could be seen as a fair housing violation. So you don't want to be messing with any fair housing laws. You don't want it to look as if a seller could be potentially discriminating at all. That is really important. But, let them know who you are. If you are relocating to the Nashville, Franklin area, let them know, we've had this life here. And, when we dreamed of our life in Franklin, we imagined a home like yours, XYZ. So you can let them know a little bit about who you are without saying race and any other certain qualifying demographics. Now, a letter to the heart, I think, is a really great piece, like I said, icing on the cake when it comes to getting your offer accepted. There is something else that I like to add in addition to it, but that is something that I call it my secret sauce, and I like to keep that specifically for my buyers to help give them an edge, because the last thing that you want to do is to basically, especially in this market, give this to other agents and let them run with it, and then it could backfire on you. So I do have my own little secret sauce that I use for my own clients in addition to this letter, and it has helped. It's helped us win multiple offer situations. So if you're interested in that, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'd be happy to share it with you when we're working together and finding your home. But I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions more about writing the letter from the heart to the sellers, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll make sure that all of my contact information is below. I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here next week.